Hey guys, what's up? Mike B, aka Fony here. I'm gonna go ahead and break down the things that happened in the past week or so, BlizzCon, right? You know. So first off, I know I've been gone for a while. I'll go ahead and just cover that really quickly. I was sick. I was really sick, and then I had a couple days, and then I lost my voice. And that was right before BlizzCon. I already mentioned this before. If you watch the Hearthstone vids, you don't watch Hearthstone's vids, and that's the TLDR right there. Actually, at the same time, my motherboard fried like 2 weeks ago today. My motherboard fried, and it's been hell trying to get a replacement from Intel, but I got a new one. It's in right now. Got a strange issue where the mouse and the keyboard, Logitech on both of them, just keeps on resetting. I don't know what the deal with that is. It actually just started happening today once I got this thing all installed and ready to go. So I'll look into that later. But that's like the only issue I think I really have. I don't have any games installed except for Hearthstone, and like that's literally all I have. And so I have not had time. Okay, I've been installing everything, tons of shit to put in, all my video editing software and all that stuff. So what you're seeing visually here is obviously not video of me, and I apologize for that. All my camera stuff is actually still packed, and even if it wasn't, well, I would have to clean this room before I actually shot anything, you know. But that's so sorry if you guys are now having to look at these wonderful pictures that I took at BlizzCon. Every single one of these I took at BlizzCon. I think you guys might like some of them, especially like cosplay, or you know, maybe I don't know, whatever random stuff I end up throwing in there. Who knows? So yeah, BlizzCon, man. Let's where do I even start? Jesus. So first off, I just want to say it was amazing meeting so goddamn many of you guys. And then there was, what sucked is that, you know, I get tweets like, oh, it's all Mike B, but didn't say anything. I would say something, like just say something, just say, hey, you know, you're not, unless I'm actively doing something, right? Like if I'm sitting there, like, you know, I don't know, interviewing somebody or holding a camera and taking a picture or something or whatever, or taking video rather. If it's a picture, like wait till I'm done taking a picture. Say hi. I mean, it's not like we don't have anything in common, right? You probably watched and played the games that I play. Guess what? We have something in common. Fucking say something. Oh man, but a lot of you guys did, and it was awesome. It was really great meeting a lot of you guys, and I got some really interesting feedback from all that too. Because here's what happens. Here's how the average conversation went with one of you guys. So, hey, aren't you Mike B? No, just kidding. Yes. Which I used that like 15 times, which was great because you guys are all different people, so nobody ever really knew I was overusing that whole thing. And then you'd be like, oh hey, I watch your stuff. And I'm like, hey, thanks for watching. That's great. What do you like? It's like, oh man, I really miss. And then this is where I start to get the feedback from you guys, like what it is that you guys miss the most. I got a couple. I got only, it's funny, I only got like a handful of BFF reports, but I think it's because I was very clear that I was not doing those anymore because I work full-time for ZAM, that a lot of people just kind of like, oh, they didn't bring it up. They'd rather mention something that, you know, the higher probability of it coming back. I got a couple of Tets. Right, I got a couple Willow Donkeys, so we'll kind of lump those together. I got a few of those, but it was funny. What I thought was the most interesting thing. Oh well, okay, let's be honest. I got a lot of people saying they missed Darnell. I'm sorry. I know. Got a lot of people saying they missed Darnell. So sorry. It's Darnell's not done. Okay, we'll just say that and we'll leave it at that. Okay. Now. Probably one of the biggest surprises in terms of like content that I do that people really enjoy is Indie for Breakfast, and I was really taken aback by that because it's like, wait a minute, you this is a show that almost just almost always got low I guess you could just low views, like period. But I guess there were so many of you guys that watched maybe every other one because there were so many of them that were coming out. You guys would just kind of watch, like, every once in a while you guys will watch one. So, you know, the view count was kind of low. I'm sure now if I were to do it, because I kind of stopped doing Indie for Breakfast. I used to do it every single day, right? I stopped doing it every single day months and months ago. I would say probably like 20,000 subscribers ago, if I'm kind of counting numbers there. So now, if I do it, it'd probably actually be completely worth it because there's so many more of you guys, and I would be able to see the numbers, and also I would know how to read the numbers and not read them as, well, every day I post a video and every day it only gets 2,000 views. Maybe now it's gonna get 3,000 views, in which case now it'd be kind of worth it. Yeah, it was just a major shock to me to hear that people really missed Indie for Breakfast of all things. Obviously got a lot of props on Roguelikes came up a whole bunch of times. Yeah, and Don't Starve came up a billion times too. Everyone loved that stuff. Everybody loves Bro Theft Auto. Who doesn't love Bro Theft Auto? I love Bro Theft Auto, and I'm gonna continue loving it until until I don't love it anymore, I guess. Then also Hearthstone. You guys love the Hearthstone vids. Got a couple compliments at how much I've improved. Of course, majority of you guys only remember the times I fuck up and not all the times I do like actual amazing smart stuff, but it's cool. I understand it's internet, you know, you gotta find some kind of, I don't know, common ground with fucking up. Ha, see, I kind of I didn't really turn that around. So it was, anyways, in all, I got lots of great feedback on what shows you guys absolutely miss, and I think I'm definitely gonna take a look at Annie for Breakfast as something that maybe I can revive. I don't think I'll be able to do it 5 days a week, but I think, you know, maybe be able to bring it back relatively consistent as maybe like every couple days, like, you know, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't hold me to that. I'm just kind of making that stuff up. Maybe that's something that we could potentially do. But other than that, it was awesome. You guys are all normal people, and it was great. I thought you guys would all be weird, but you're not. You're just normal like me, and you guys like to drink like me, and some of you guys bought me drinks, and I don't remember most of that, but it was still a lot of fun. So let's go and talk about Thursday. Thursday night was the party that we put on for at the Annabella Hotel, and you guys, I mentioned that a couple times during some of the Hearthstone vids. Leading up to Blizzcon was like extremely hectic because we were doing tons of planning for that stuff. I was reaching out to a ton of streamers, and essentially what my role there was, it was essentially, and I kind of put myself in this role because I feel like I'm probably one of the best suited for this, is to go out and find the talents, obviously some of the talent that I invited, right, and also some of the other team at WoW Insider. They reached out to a bunch of people, and also Gamebreaker, and of course the team here at Wowhead. My job was to go around, find these guys, and bring them on the stream. So basically, if you remember the 2011 party that we did for BlizzCon, Gamebreaker, Zam, WoW Insider, there was a, it was a bit of a cluster, right? The stream was, anyways. You had like dudes sitting there that didn't want to move for like ever. And I didn't want to do that this time. For me, I wanted it to be like, let's grab a grip of people, or you know, a couple people, and sit them down with, you know, Gary and, you know, maybe a couple other people. It could be, and those people could be, you know, it could be me. I was on there a couple times. It could be Lore. Lore was kind of rarity, of course, but more regulars would be like Shaftnit, Olivia, stuff like that, Crane. So we had kind of like a fixed group of people that could fill slots. We always had 4 people on, at least, and I basically would, I reached out to a couple people. I had like the girl running the front end that had my master list, my VIP list. I gave her my phone number. I was like, yo, girl, give me my phone number now. I was like, hey, give me a text whenever these people come in. And I wrote down like, you know, the names of the people and everything. Or I marked them on the list. And so she would send me a text. And I also had one of the guys from WoW Insider. He was floating around. He was kind of just, you know, kind of working the crowd and kind of talking to everybody and all that stuff. And he had my number as well. And he was really, really good too at finding people in the crowd, which is extremely hard to do. It was so many people that we had like 300 something with I want to say like 2,200, 2,500 people. Like flux, like people kind of coming and going to the restaurant area and all that stuff. We had a lot of people at the party. We reached capacity. We stayed at capacity for the longest time. Anyways, yeah, so dude was running around. He's finding people, and what they would do is they text me, and I'd go say, hey, meet me at the, they text me, say, hey, so-and-so's here. I'd be like, great, meet me at the front desk. I go to the front desk, and I talk to that person, and that, you know, that streamer or whatever, like Tally, right? Like, oh, Tally, hey, I have Day 9 coming on just a minute. After Day 9's done, I want to get you on there. I want to talk about stuff. He's like, oh man, Tally's like the most humble dude ever. Like, I remember Tally for a couple years ago, and it's funny. When I first met him, still a nice guy, but it's funny, he kind of came off like really confident, like really confident, and he was like much heavier than really confident. It's funny, like he lost weight and he became more humble, which is, I mean, still a very pleasant person, like to talk to and everything. But that was kind of funny. It was all like, wait a minute, some of your like your cockiness kind of went out with your weight. I mean, I liked Tally before, but the new Tally is actually pretty awesome, you know, a bit more awesome, I think. But anyways, yeah, I had him on. I just tell him, hey, meet me here at 9 o'clock. Go have some drinks, enjoy yourself. Meet me here at 9 o'clock or whatever time it was, and I'm gonna bring you in and we're gonna talk. And it was like, cool, that's what we're gonna do. And the night ended up going really, really smooth. Like, I mean, it just overall, it just went incredibly smooth. We got Ghost Crawler on it and all that stuff. And of course, throughout the night, I drank like nothing. I had probably grand total like 1.5 drinks over the course of like 7 or 8 hours that I was there. Like, I was there for setup. I set up all the lighting. I helped obviously set up, you know, some of the stream stuff and everything. The lights that we were using, the big floodlights, those are my like BFF report lights. A lot of people really got a kick out of that because they're these big ass, like crazy bright lights. But yeah, I drank water like the entire time. I was still kind of in the process of trying not to lose my voice, which was completely failing the entire weekend. So I kind of just said fuck it eventually. But yes, that night was phenomenal. Then it was the first day of Blizzcon, right? I don't want to go into detail about every day, but you know, first day of Blizzcon was we got all the announcements and everything like that. Here's what I did. I got my badge. I got a press badge. I went and got my badge, and I went straight to Heroes. Everyone's all like, woo, we're getting the intro and all that stuff. We're here for the opening ceremony. And I'm like, that's great, guys. I'll just listen from here and I'll play this brand new game. And that's exactly what I did. I played the balls off of that game. Holy crap. Man, can I just go into Heroes now? Like, I would love to just kind of skip everything and go right to Heroes. I was going to save it for last, but let's just talk about it now. Heroes was just... it's just a fantastic game. I don't even know where to begin. God, who did I? Okay, so I started off. I played ETC, which is it's a Torn, you know, from the band, right? It's basically a Torn warrior with all of his rock attire and all that stuff. He has a guitar and all that, and one of his moves is actually kind of awesome. It's called Stage Dive, and essentially it's like his ult. Was it his ult? I believe it was his ult. You select it, and you could essentially throw yourself to anywhere on the map. Like, it just seemed like it was limitless. There was no like range or whatever, and I thought that was pretty insane. Of course, just like let's say the ghost nuke ability or something like that, where you have kind of you have this aura on the ground that appears, and it gives kind of the enemies an opportunity to escape from it. Yeah, that still exists, you know, so you're not exactly getting, you know, just a free dunk on somebody, but it's a dunk nonetheless, and it was actually pretty awesome. I also played Falstad was amazing. Man, like that dude. So first off, he was a glass cannon. He rides a griffin. Everybody gets mounts, by the way. Everybody gets mounts. Falstad was the only one that did not have customizable mounts, but he had a customizable skin. Everybody has skins. Everyone has mounts. The mounts are not necessarily linked to that particular hero. It seemed like every hero that I played had basically, besides Falstad, of course, basically the same, you know, cycle of, or at least the majority of them were kind of the same mounts. You could use the mounts. You can mount up even when you're in combat, right? And it gives you like a bonus speed. It didn't feel like much. It felt like it was probably 15-25%, something like that. It could have been 50%, but it didn't even feel like it, that's for sure. Anyways, Falstad, he's permanently mounted. He's always on a flying griffin. The difference between mounted and unmounted movement is that he flies above, like he basically lifts off and he flies kind of above the ground a little ways. It looks like probably, I don't know, like 30 feet or something like that maybe. So he can still cast. He's like basically a ranged assassin, right? So I think it's his classification. He can still cast from up there. The thing is that he slowly depletes mana. He consumes mana while he's up there at the rate of, I want to say like probably 1, 2, or maybe it's like, let's see, 1. It felt like it was probably maybe 2 mana per second. Maybe it was like 1 mana per second. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough where, you know, after a certain amount of time, you're like, okay, because just casting and doing all this stuff while you're up there, you're not necessarily just flying around, but you notice that your mana is now depleted. But probably the coolest part about him was the fact that he had the ability to fly over anything. So I could just, I mean, yeah, there's other champions, of course. There's other games where you have a unit that has that kind of capability, but it was kind of cool that, you know, he's just unique to the majority of the other heroes. He basically just lifts off, and again, you don't have to mount up in combat, or you can mount up in combat. It's not like WoW. I was playing all these WoW rules and everything like that, and just kind of majority of them didn't really apply. But yeah, he just basically, if you're getting chased, you just throw some lightning at people, just lightning and shit, and then cast other ability that automatically lightning zaps them whenever they get near. You know, you have to like aim it, you just kind of like, you know, cast it, and then you mount up and you fly up over a tree line, and that's it. It's actually pretty awesome. Played Stitches. Stitches had a grapple ability very similar to I believe Blitzcrank in League. He also had another skill that you activate, and it leaves like a trail of slime wherever he walks, and I guess the slime would end up slowing people down. He also had like a belch, like a conal, a front conal attack. He had an AoE attack, and every hero had their own had a passive ability that was relatively complicated. I don't want to say it was complicated, like crazy complicated, but I would rate complication. I would say it was complicated versus like the number of words it was. Like the number of words would determine how complicated it was, if that makes sense. So the average ability, it says cast the Hammer of Amazing, and it will bounce off, you know, 2 opponents. That's pretty simple, right? Well, a passive ability for like, for example, the goblin whose name escapes me, but he's a goblin like engineer, who has like a mech, which is pretty awesome. His passive was like anytime you are within range of a tower or a kind of mechanical unit or a wall or something like that you destroy, you're able to collect scrap, and anytime you collect X number of scrap, then your mana is going to increase. The rate of mana regen is going to increase by X amount for a certain amount of seconds. You see what I'm saying? So that was the kind of thing that we're looking at for these kind of passive hero abilities. I'm waving a marker in the air and I just dropped it. Did you hear that? It's like, that was embarrassing. God, redo the whole thing. Start from over. Scratch anyways. Also, going back to ETC, his, I believe, was kind of like an area haste of some sort, but it was also related to something else. Now, all these things can change. I've seen lists of all these, you know, on Reddit and everything. Oh, here's a list of like every ability, every, you know, hero power. A lot of them are probably going to say the same, but you know what? Like, I'll just be honest. Some of these are obviously going to change, which people actually start playing them. By the end of the second day, I went up to the press room because the line to play this game on the floor was just insane. It wrapped all the way around, all the way around. So first off, you know, you go to play heroes, right? You stand in the line, it kind of zigzags a little bit, right? Like a normal line for like the movie theater, zigzags a little bit. Then it left the zigzag and it proceeded to wrap all the way around once, which, I mean, I probably even actually would have touched on the other side, which would have been really crazy. But you imagine this play area was huge. There were tons of computers, and this thing wrapped all the way around. Just no, and I'm asking. I even went up to the dude and I was all like, "Yo, VIP, let's kick it." And he was like, "No, you know what? The VIP line is actually 45 minutes long." And I was like, "Damn." And then he was all like, "You know, there's computers upstairs." And I was like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. That's right. There's computers upstairs in the press room." So I was like, "Okay, let's do that." So Blink-182 took to the stage because the whole plan was, hey, Blink-182 is gonna play. Everyone's gonna go watch that because it's closing ceremony. They're gonna be like, "Woo, Blink-182," right? All the small things and all that stuff. And everyone else is, and all of us are gonna be like, "Yeah, let's jump in here and play this game." No, it didn't happen at all. Everybody was also doing that exact same thing. Everybody basically said, "Fuck Blink-182. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna watch or go and play Heroes." So ended up going upstairs. Up there, must have played like 5-6 matches. So I think in total, I think grand total over the course of the entire weekend, I played probably like 10 matches. I played a couple of, definitely played a couple of heroes twice for sure. But, because I wanted to get a better feel for them. What I should have done, you know, here's what I should have done. I should have gone up, played a hero for a little while so I kind of got the gist, you know, and then instead of finishing the match, just kind of duck out, just exit. just, you know, just fuck the homies, I'm just gonna leave and try another hero, but I didn't, sorry. Now while I was up there, I was playing, I was going through a couple heroes. I also had Total Biscuit came and sat down right next to me, and you know, we bullshitted for a while. We're kind of like bullshit. He was there, you know, he's on a mission. He was essentially, you know, in his head and also verbally recording a WTF is, where he would kind of out loud describe the things that are happening to him. Now, it's kind of funny, like mine is very much an inner monologue when I'm doing stuff, unless there's somebody else in the room that I feel like entertaining, in which case, you know, I'll go ahead and say stuff out loud. But he was just like, I loved it. I was just sitting there, it's like, I'm a live WTF, live studio audience. Just tell me when I need an applause or something like that, a laugh or something, fake laugh. But no, it was great. Like we were able to kind of share. I was able to show him some of the things that I was doing, like the Falstad flying over everything. I flew all the way into the enemy base just to see if there was like an invisible wall there. Nope, there wasn't. Falstad died. But it was good. It was good that we had there were a number of people there. Gary came and sat down. There was a number of people trying different things. We were able to kind of share information because it's hard, right, to sit there and kind of collect everything on your own. But the game itself, man, like I've already talked about the heroes, right? The game itself, you got a handful of dudes versus a handful of other dudes, and you have these maps that are really small. Like this is not Twisted Tree Line. These are very small maps. And the ones that we played, I want to say there was just top and bot, and that was it. That's all you had, just top and bottom. I can't remember if there was a mid. The mid was kind of like a jungle area, and you had towers that you could go and capture, very similar to the ones in StarCraft 2, where you could kind of stand next to them and you get to the all-seeing eye, right? You could capture them, and they'll kind of maintain focus on that area, and you could kind of keep an eye on things. You also had minions, like camps of minions, and it really depended on what map you were on. You had like a pirate base map, and you had like a ghost base map. I think those are the two. The pirate map, I definitely specifically remember this one. You walk over to, I had stitches, right? And what I did with stitches, I basically just put all of my talents and my upgrades into health. So I was just a walking asshole, essentially. And I walked past this thing. It was like there's flavor text that actually shows up like a tooltip that's actually active on the HUD over top of the camps that you approach, and anything else that you want, you can interact with. It tells you what to do. It says, kill these dudes and they'll fight for you. Oh, okay, cool. Then that's what I'm gonna do. Like there's no thought process, required there. You basically start beating on them. And that's what I did. I started beating on him. Other people noticed I was beating on him, so they're like, "Oh, let's do this. Let's kill the dragon, right? Like, let's get a buff." And that's all it did. Like, we killed them, and they basically they respawn right away, and they're like, "Yar!" and they went running right towards the enemy and just started beating them up. And that was kind of awesome. They're kind of like super creeps in a way. But yeah, that was actually really, it really kind of worked out. Some of the things I noticed, like small things, yeah, you can't deny. Like I couldn't kill any of my own characters. Or creeps. I couldn't, last hit didn't really matter. You're basically just killing things and the reason why it didn't matter is because you had instead of having a currency that you accumulate, everything's based off of like your experience that you gain. It's team-based experience. So yeah, a lot of you guys probably heard this, but it's really interesting to see it in action because you could basically do nothing, and get, you could get levels. Which, you're going to think, oh man, that's really shitty that they would do that. Well, maybe they'll come up with some way to kind of keep track of people that are, essentially AFKing. Sure. But, sometimes that happens. But it was every 3 levels, you get a talent and you hit N. It's funny. I just instinctively hit N because it popped up. It's all like, oh, you got new talents. I was like, oh, N. I popped it open and they have this tree. A very interesting tree. And the tree, you had like a handful of choices for each one. Some of them was like 3, some of them was like 4. But you also had your ability that you chose, and I actually had, I want to say, the option to choose more than one alt on some of the characters. Like with Falstad, he had like a charged laser beam. It was a fire my laser type thing, right? He had like one of those. And he also had something else. The other one I skipped. I was just like, I just want a laser beam. I'm done. But yeah, you can actually choose your alt, and this was interesting because we all know that in League or most MOBAs, you have your currency. You go to the shop and you buy items and you build better items and all that stuff. Well, the game simplifies the fuck out of that to the point to where I can't even really like associate it with like MOBAs because the entire core. But outside of the fact that you are, you're controlling a character with isometric point of view camera, there's not a lot of other mechanics that are shared. You choose your talents. Your talents determine your skills. You can actually have different skills, right? Every time you play by choosing different skills, because you give you options sometimes. At the same time, you can mix and match your you can add more than like 4 abilities. So I had ability, Q, W, E, R, 1, Z, right? The keys were really in kind of weird places, but I'm sure that's something that'll be looked at later. But yeah, I had a lot of abilities. And so what's funny is they're looking at some of these mice, like the MMO mouse that has like a billion buttons, like, hey, this would actually apply here just perfectly because you can have more than, 4 abilities. So that was pretty awesome. Now, of course, I know in League you have your other kind of passive abilities, like you could have your swap out, like your heal or your sprint thing or whatever. Sorry, I'm kind of a nub with League, but yeah, I know there's more, but still here you're able to actually swap and mix and match things. What feels like on a much grander scale, like you have more options of ways you customize your character. But that, yeah, it was overall, it was very, very interesting and very simple. The fact that everybody gains XP it means that you can actually have roles that perform within their role. You can have characters that are healers, just heal. You can have characters that are strange casters, where they are able to essentially take control of other minions or create clones of other minions for like a minute at a time. They can sit there and do that, and they could be harassers, they could be whatever. They don't have to run out and get kills or share kills or anything like that. So it really made the game very accessible because you essentially can't fuck it up. You run out, you kill things, and you're helping your team. That's it. Well, unless you're a healer, which of course you can still go out and kill things, but you're not going to be quite as effective overall. But your abilities are very well laid out, very simple to operate. Like you activate it, and you have this what do they call, like a corona, whatever, this aura that appears showing you whether or not it's a conal attack, whether or not it's AoE attack, or if it's a range attack. Whatever it is, they do a really good job of kind of breaking everything down for you. God, there's so much. During one of the loading screens, I noticed there was a thing that said cool points, and it probably subject to change, the name. Cool points, I'm guessing, is going to be similar to you have riot points, then you have just regular points you can spend on different things, two different currencies. One that's obviously in-game currency, and another one that is actual real money currency. So it's a system that to buy more skins and more mounts, which is going to be like their biggest push, right? More skins, more mounts. Then that's what you would use. So it was a really fun game. Like, I really enjoyed the shit out of it. There was a timer that was set on it, and it was funny. This whole thing came up. We shot like a legendary episode in Gary's hotel room, Gary Gannon's hotel room, and we had like a studio audience. This is like hilarious. Because we don't get a chance to kind of sit down and really enjoy some of the panels and kind of absorb all the information. We have to rely on our own experience playing the game. There was a 20-minute timer on everything. And the guy that was helping us upstairs, he really didn't know a lot of stuff. Like, he really, really didn't know anything. He even said at some point that we probably know more than he does because we played it more. So he wasn't much help in terms of that. But he was, apparently it was said that the 20-minute timer was only there for BlizzCon. But then I read an article, right? It came up. Our article said that Dustin Broder said to GameSpot that they're looking for something that's quick and that can be done in about 20 minutes. And I misconstrued that as being a 20-minute timer. So having missed the panel where they said the 20-minute timer is only for BlizzCon, we talked about it. All of us missed that. We talked about the timer and how strategies and everything work around timers and all that stuff. And then nobody in the studio audience said, hey, the timer is only for BlizzCon. They wait till after we were done recording. They're like, oh, hey, guys, by the way, that thing is not a thing. It's like, really? Even Gary was like, are you fucking serious? You guys are dicks. Oh, I can't believe not one person said something. It's like, oh, my God. It was funny, though. I mean, I'm not mad at them at all. I think it was just absolutely hilarious. Wow, this is really long, isn't it? Holy shit, I have other things to talk about. I hope I have enough. I definitely don't have enough pictures to post. So, you guys have to deal with something. I'll figure something out. Maybe we'll cycle the same pictures, whatever. We're not here for the pictures. We're here for the voice, right? Yes. And the constantly looping in music that I've been playing, because we need something back here. What else? Now we also had, oh, you know what? I know what I'll do. I'll go back and I'll play some Hearthstone, and I'll just have that playing in the background because that's obviously the hot shit. Hopefully I'm not doing terrible. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, that sounds good. So I also got a chance to play with Hearthstone on mobile devices. That was really interesting. Hearthstone on mobile device on the Windows mobile device tablets was very much not optimized at all, and I couldn't tell if it was the if it was the hardware, because I didn't know the hardware that we were using at the time. It would look like just a regular tablet PC, or if it was the game not being optimized. I'll go ahead and blame it on the game, because I'm certain they're not going to demonstrate, you know, bringing some old ass tablets that can't handle shit. But upstairs in the press room, they had a demo going on some bunch of iPads, and I played it on that. It ran a little bit better. There's a little optimization here and there. It definitely ran a lot better though, and it felt good. Like the screen was a good size, and you know, playing with it all makes sense. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have Splash Top, and you guys know me. I played FTL on Splash Top. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. Well, I don't know about played, but I definitely contributed to my character's well-being using Splash Top. But yeah, it allows you to basically remote desktop into your computer, and you can play games. And I played Hearthstone on that, and it works. You know, it works really well. And the same thing, I played just like that, and it seemed to work out pretty good. I played a couple of matches, using like whatever character they give me with the other players that were playing there in the thing at Blizzcon, and you know, again, it ran pretty good. It was something that I would definitely, with FTL and then Hearthstone coming out in tablet, like I am gonna take like the longest shits ever. It's gonna be pretty. Yeah, I should just move all this stuff. I wonder if this stuff will fit in my bathroom, because that would just make much more, or maybe actually makes more sense to move the toilet in here. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, it actually played pretty well. And it's something that I think a lot of you guys are probably going to enjoy. I really wish I could see how it performed on like Gen 1 iPads, because I still have Gen 1. We have 2 Gen 1 iPads that we bought when they first were released. Well, my wife was gifted one. But yeah, now they just these iPads essentially serve as Declan music toys. It's all Dobby just do playing music on them, and that's pretty much all they're for. I would love to be able to revitalize it to play FTL and of course Hearthstone. But anyways, that's pretty much it with the touchscreen stuff. It worked. That's all I can tell you. It worked on iPads. Just needs optimization on both sides, for the Microsoft tablets, and of course for that. And it's also coming for Android, from what I've read. So you're not forgotten, Android guys, which is basically everybody. See what else? Cosplay stuff, which you guys have already seen pictures of. Phenomenal. Like some of these guys are just crazy good, really good. I don't even know what to say. Like when I see some of these, it was amazing. It was absolutely fuck. Some of them, I was like, can I touch it? Can I touch it? You know, like some of the, like their helmets or whatever. It's like, wow. Like one girl, I had to help her with her helmet, to put it on. And it felt like, it didn't feel like a helmet, of course, but it felt really sturdy. Like whatever she made it with was quite durable. And underneath, it was just like a regular, like had a strap and everything. So I was just like, it was really, really good, man. These people put a lot of work into this stuff, and it looks great. What else we have? We had, oh well, you know, like that's almost it actually. It's like Heroes, Hearthstone. Yeah. So yeah, new expansion. Everybody, you know, Draenor's coming out. You know, WoD. We got the notification that they registered the trademark right beforehand, so we knew that was going to be it. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff coming to that. You know, the garrisons and all that. Which, you know, we'll wait for more information. I'm the most excited, of course, about character models being revamped. I think that's great. I think it's about time they do that. Some of them look so good. Man, go look at the gnome females, man. You can't. How can you not love that? They just look so great. But yeah, definitely something that you guys should go and check out. If you ever played WoW, you could at least appreciate it. It's actually available on the site itself. You can go check it out. Man, what else? I love just sitting here talking. This is great. I love it to sit here and just just kind of talk and just, you know, overlay some video or whatever, and not have to worry about playing and focusing on playing and also talking at the same time where I get derailed constantly. This is awesome. I should do this more often. Man, let me just tell you this though. Press badge shenanigans. I didn't break any rules. Okay, I'll just put that out there right now. I didn't break any rules, but the press badge is a very powerful thing, especially when the crew that's hired to run things was only given a kind of a crash course on what it is they need to do. You know, a lot of times they don't know who to let into certain areas or not. And I didn't lie to anybody. I didn't. I just saw areas that looked like, you know, hey, it'd be great if I could stand right there and take pictures versus, you know, sitting back in the crowd and hoping I could shoot around somebody else, you know? So I went and I asked. I just said, hey, well, how's it going? So there's like a press area right here. My name is Mike B. Shook his hands. I was like, I work for Wowhead. It's basically the biggest site for this game, blah, blah, blah. There's biggest site for WoW. So I said, I work for Wowhead, biggest site for WoW. Now, of course, the way that I said this was much different. The way I'm saying it right now is obviously very suspect. But I'm an extremely confident person when I'm trying to get my way. The guy let me in. Now, I didn't break any rules, I just got a better spot to shoot. I got to hang out right out front, take pictures of the entire event. You can see, you see a lot of them here, the costume contests and all that stuff. But you can see a lot of them also on Wowhead as well. But what was really funny about the whole thing, I got to hang out with one of the, I have his card here somewhere, but he works in the video department for Blizzard, and we got to bullshit. And what's funny is he actually recognized me. He recognized me for, I think, for like the BFF report or something like that, and or maybe it was Legendary, I can't remember which, but he recognized me. He's like, hey, are you Mike B? And he said, yeah, you're from it was like WoW Fony or something. I was like, oh my god, dude, WoW Fony, like how long has it been? Yeah, man, I'm not there. Like, it's been a long time. But him and I were like right up front, and we were shooting during the talent show, right? And one of the talent guys that came out, the name completely escaped me because it's extremely complicated. It's like Sister Fan or something like that, or Sister Nanophobia or something. I can't remember the name of the damn band. But the band that came out, it was just a guy with a guitar. It's hard to see, right? But a guy with like an acoustic or something. And the guy, I think he had an accordion of some sort. Maybe it was an accordion. Two dudes dressed up as like, elves, high elves or something. And they come to, or blood elves, whatever. And they come sit down and they start playing. And they bust out. They decided to bust out the smoke machine. Like, okay, yeah, we'll go bust out some stage fog. Man, oh man, they drowned us. Now remember, we're sitting on the other side of the barrier between this barrier and the stage, so it's essentially a canal of sorts. All of that fog that came up, if you could find a video of these guys playing, right, you might see us disappear. It's just me and some other guy. You might actually see us I'll have to go look for that, disappearing in this cloud. And it was actually hard to breathe, man. That stuff was heavy. It was like a humidifier in your face. It was really heavy air, or moisture and all that stuff. So it was hilarious. We're basically, I took like one picture of those guys, and after that I couldn't see shit. I was done. I turned around, I kind of waved goodbye to everybody. I was like, bye, see you later. Also at the end of the night when they announced the winners, you guys remember they bust open this confetti explosion, right? They had all these cannons set up. They had like 3 of them, I think, along the front, like in the barricaded area where we were standing. One of them, one to each side of us. We were standing between a couple of them. Anyway, so they announced the winner, and everyone's like, woo! Everyone's like, yeah, the lights get crazy, and wow, they bust out the big confetti explosion thing. And the dude that was like, I want to say he was stage right. The dude who's to the right of the stage when you're facing it, he would not stop. I had to go find the video for that too, because he would not stop, and he was just going nuts. It was like he was his own little world. He was just like, ha ha ha, just like laughing and just busting it out. He wasn't actually laughing. He was actually really serious. Like he was taking it really seriously. But the dude in the middle, one of the center cannon, he was all like, he's like, yo Frank, hey man, hey, stop. So he's like yelling as loud as he could. He's like, stop shooting, stop. Then finally the guy said, fuck it, and he comes running over and he just pulls the plug on it. The guy looks down, he's like, oh. But the guy was just like, I felt bad because that was the happiest that dude has been that entire day. That entire day was shit compared to that moment that he had, and the other dude had to come pull the plug. I was like, oh, I felt kind of bad. But man, it was good. The entire event was totally worth it. And a lot of you guys, I don't play WoW as much as I used to. That is a for sure thing. But I play Hearthstone, and even if I didn't play Hearthstone, I would still go, because the community, the WoW community, when you meet them, or just the Blizzard community, when you meet them and you talk to them, like everybody, we all speak the same language. We're all talking about stuff that, especially if you've played a WoW game or a Blizzard game, You know, all these people, they all speak the same language. You know, there's a conversation going on. Guess what? You probably understand what the fuck they're talking about. Whenever you go to like E3 or GDC or something like that, like someone comes out and they start talking about some random, you know, SDK or some random, you know, developer or some random, you know, engine or whatever. It's like you're just like, okay, no idea what that guy's talking about. But here, doesn't happen, and that is really, really awesome. But man, there's probably so much more. I don't even know. I think I've got the majority of it out of the way. I think we're the past couple weeks pretty well covered. Yeah, I think so. I do like this format, I like being able to kind of bullshit, and I have to go find stuff to put underneath or over the top of this whole thing, and hope that it kind of all falls together. But thank you very much for listening, guys. If you guys went the entire distance, but yeah, there's a thing going around right now with comments. I want to go ahead and kind of make a quick comment about that, but yeah, it seems that comments have gotten pretty out of control. I'm gonna leave them on for now, and I'm kind of wait. I want to see what happens. But if it does end up kind of getting out of control, like to the point to where I need to, you know, cut them off, then I will. If anything, for the sake of getting these things repaired and fixed, because it seems like this whole system is just fucking stupid. People posting like entire books or something like that in the comments. So yeah, if it gets really shitty or out of control, where it kind of creates an environment that maybe I don't like for you guys, then I'll have to cut it off. And I know that a lot of you guys come to the comments. I really like a lot of your guys' comments, man. I really, really do. But at the same time, you know, I can't have a couple of poisonous individuals like just doing stupid shit and linking to stupid shit all the time. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to jump the gun and just kind of, you know, jump on a bandwagon or anything like that. But I think a lot of the people, a lot of things that I've heard, Total Biscuit, Francis, right? They bring up a lot of really good points. And if I see this kind of stuff happening, then I'm gonna have to react. You know, I'm gonna have to do something about it. But hopefully it doesn't get to that point. And honestly, if it becomes poisonous to everybody else in the community, which it kind of seems like it's to that point, I might just jump on the bandwagon just for the sake of getting the word out and just kind of letting people know that they're fucking up. But well, not you guys, of course. You guys, y'all's my babies. Y'all don't do nothing wrong, right? Yeah. Okay. So, thank you very much for listening. My name is Mike, aka Fony, and yeah, I got some more Hearthstone stuff coming up. I'm definitely gonna revisit. Oh, ding! I got a text. That's my text sound. It's amazing, isn't it? I also have. I'm gonna take a look at Indie for Breakfast. I have a couple games that I've been holding on to for that, and you know, bust that back out. Maybe, you know, kind of get, you know, kind of get that thing going. I really miss the show. I really miss it. Warframe. A lot of people ask about Warframe. I stopped playing Warframe because of GTA. That was it. I mean, there's no secrets there. GTA came out. It sucked up all my time. That's pretty much all that happened. That doesn't mean I'm done with Warframe by any stretch of the imagination. Definitely not. It just means that, you know, I haven't had time to play it because I was playing GTA, and then my computer died, and that's when I basically couldn't play it. So that really sucks. But I'll have to get in touch with the Warlords again, let them know that I'm essentially back up and running. I don't have the game installed yet, but I'll work on that. But that's it. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.